got a couple of things accomplished, and then had an absolutely amazing lunch at Tijuana Flats, which I don't know how widespread Tijuana Flats is, but if you're unaware of them, they are uh, a chain restaurant that does Americanized. Basically they do Tex-Mex food, and they're really good. They really are good. I like them. I love their enchiladas. They make really great enchiladas. And we had lunch at um, Tijuana Flats, and they were playing music there, and we drove back and we were listening to the 50s channel. But the 50s channel did not play. It's not letting me get that tree. Did not play this song while we were driving down the road. So I don't know exactly where it's coming from. I don't know why it's in my head, because it don't make no sense, man. But it's there. It's kind of like, I think the weirdest song I ever had just pop into my head out of nowhere was when I woke up and I couldn't get the song If by Bread out of my head. Now I know most of you folks who are in your 20s are like, what's Bread? Well, Bread was a group from the 70s, and they did soft rock, and If was maybe their greatest hit. And it's a beautiful song, don't get me wrong, beautiful song. It's not irritating, it's not annoying, but it was confusing, because I'm like, why am I, where'd that song come from? It's in my head now, but I don't remember it getting there, so why is it there? I certainly haven't done anything, I haven't listened to Bread in a while. Of course, the minute I remember that it's Bread, I decide to go and binge Bread for a while, so I was listening to some of their music. But and yes, if you are at all interested in soft rock, they're a good group to listen to, and I'm not going to lie to you. They're a good group. I have musical tastes that are amazingly eclectic. I listen to everything from punk rock to soft rock. I can occasionally listen to polka music. I've been known to listen to mariachi music. I even listen to gospel every now and then. And folks, what makes that unusual is I am an atheist, and I will listen to gospel. Do you know why? Let me tell you why. Because gospel music is some of the most beautiful music ever written on this earth. Doesn't matter that I don't buy into the religious implications of the music. Doesn't matter that I don't buy into the message or the intended purpose. Doesn't matter. It's still some of the most beautiful music I have ever heard on this planet. Anyway, so I've got this 1950s rock and roll song, and it's still stuck in my head even as I've been talking about it. Is that weird or what? Of course it's weird. So what I'm trying to do, let me explain how I'm doing the decorations. Basically, I'm filling space, but I'm not trying to do it at random so much as I'm trying to make it look like something that an actual park would have in its quote-unquote wilderness, which is a misnomer, because in very few cases is the wilderness presented by a zoo really wilderness. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been exceptions. The zoo up in Tallahassee, Florida, is carved out of a freaking swamp, and when I say that it's got wilderness, boy howdy does it have wilderness, because like I said, it's a swamp. You don't get much more wilderness than putting all of your buildings, clearing the trees and clearing the bushes and putting all of your buildings in those clearances. because that's exactly what they did. And whoo, they then built wooden walkways to keep the people out of the mud. And the wooden walkways, believe me, are necessary. Necessary. Because, boy howdy, otherwise you're in the middle, you're hip deep in a swamp. And I'm not kidding about that. Seriously, not kidding about that. Okay. You can grab this. We're going to put this over here, because this needs a home. This. Yeah, I still owe you for that time with that guy and that thing. Sorry for not being more specific. I keep saying the word this. This tree right here, this bush, it's a tree, but I'm using it as a bush. I wanted to plug a hole. Now, if you look, almost all, there are areas, of course, which are still exposed, but the ape area is almost all enclosed in with plants and rocks and trees and such. There's still some areas that I need to fill. I need to put some plants and rocks and such here. And I want to basically close off this bit right here with more trees. And after that, we'll start work on this strip here. Like I said, this is going to be a decoration heavy, and it might take a couple of episodes, and I apologize for that in advance. But you know what? Feel free when to skip these episodes if this is not your bag. You won't offend me in the least if you skip 3 episodes and go directly to the otters. Let me get a drink. Okay. But I did feel that this decoration effort, was necessary to getting this zoo looking like I wanted it to look. I hope you guys don't mind. Let me know in the comments what you think about what I'm doing here, what you think about the fact that I decided to spend some time decorating the zoo, making it look, in my opinion, less desolate and better. I'm going to get this done, and then I will promise, however, that if I can't finish it in 3 episodes, I will finish it off screen, so that you guys don't have to go through more than 3 episodes of it. All right? I hope that's acceptable to you, because that's the way it's going to be. Okay. And like I said, I am borrowing, for the most part, I'm borrowing rocks and such from other areas of the zoo. It's just easier to do it that way than to rebuild everything from scratch. And I know, you're, oh, it's a shortcut. Yeah, you're right. What's the problem with that? Believe me, have you ever watched some of the heavy hitters? They borrow from their own constructions all the time. Well, I need some rocks, so let's go grab and copy these rocks from that area over there. It's a thing. If you're making your own zoos, do not be afraid to do that, because it just saves you time and effort. And believe me, there's a lot of effort that goes into this. Okay, that's not one of my rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that one in the middle is the one that gets me. Okay, never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We're going to move them. And we're going to move them this way. So that it's like that. Okay. And then we're going to move this one back a little so it's a little off the path. Is it the right? Yes. Okay. Spin it that. And this bad boy is coming with me. Because he's going to come over here. Alright. And like I said, you may notice that I'm doing all this with the game paused. And that's because, well, this sort of thing, I don't need to have the animals giving me feedback. I don't need, I don't need to know how things are going for the critters. So basically, basically I'm just fine with putting in the rocks and the plants, and I don't need, I can save up the energy of having to deal with animal-based problems later on. And you know that there would be animal-based problems. Okay, let's try and get this. Come on. You can do it. There we go. All right. Let's give that a copy. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. That looks, didn't it just pop? Isn't that just great? Okay. Alrighty. But yeah, if you have any, if you have any further ideas, if you have any suggestions, things I should do, things I shouldn't do, things you really wish I wouldn't do in the future, by all means, put them, put them in the comments. Let me know. I've already revealed what I'm going to do for like my next two animals, and that is the otters first, because Alana requested them, and then I'm going to do the Bengal tigers, and oh boy, do I have an idea for the Bengal tigers. For that matter, I've got a pretty good idea for the otters, and I think it'll work out just fine. It ought to, anyway. At any rate, this this should work really well for what I've got planned for the otters and for the tigers themselves. I've got this with the otters. I've got this basically this lake idea in my head, and it'll have a it'll have this sunken area where the guests will be able to see the otters swimming in the water, and an elevated bridge that crosses part of the habitat, so that not only are the guests, down at the underwater level, if you will, they're also above, so they should have a really good view of the animals as they're moving around. With the tigers, I want to do a multiple access habitat, so that there's high viewing areas, low viewing areas, and things like that. Okay, and I'm going to borrow these rocks again. That'll work. You know, so I have been thinking about what I want to do when I finally start building these areas, and I think you're going to enjoy them. I really do. I think you're going to enjoy them. I'm certainly looking forward to starting work on it. All right. Yeah, okay. I'll just add some more. Why is that underground? Why is that underground? Makes no sense. Why is that underground? The weird things that can happen, huh, folks? So, but after the Bengal Tigers, I don't know really what I was going to do next. So let me know what you think. Right now, the leading candidates for the post-Tigers animals are the giant anteater, which is a South American jungle species, and the Indian elephant, believe it or not, which I know is a weird combination of animals. Well, okay, the anteaters and the elephants, you know, that's. But those are the two that struck me the most as, you know, as being interesting additions to what I've already got so far. Like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I am very interested in knowing what you think. This is going to be a thing. Because I told you I had, you know, I was talking about doing one of these earlier, and then I realized, you know what, why don't I just go ahead and do this stupid thing? Okay. Alright. Let's do one thing here. Curb on the ground, railing on ground, railing on ground, railing on elevated. Yeah, we're going to take the railing on that, because technically this is elevated path, but you know, it's basically just built up. I don't feel like leaving it. Alright. So you're probably wondering what I'm going to add, and that's these things. The giant the giant centipede. I watched one of these things eat a mouse once. It was horrifying. Okay, I added a female. Okay, and we are going to have to turn people back on here for a second. Animals are fine. Temperature, it's a little too warm for them, so let's bring this down to, say, 80 degrees. 70% humidity is fine. There are no windows to block off, so Okay. Every month, that's good. Alright. So, let me repause it, and then we will do some construction on it. I'm tempted to just use those. You know what, why not? All right. And we'll once again use the East Asia column because it's a utility infielder of great worth to fill in the holes. And again, it's the aquatic roof. Alrighty. So let's get this colored, shall we? Oh, great. Okay, hold on. Right. And one more. There we go. Okay. And now the roof. All right, and we need all right. Here we go. All right. Well, we're actually beginning to run out of time. I'll be honest. At first, I was kind of doubtful that I would be able to fill this much time with doing nothing but decorating the paths, but apparently I was able to. Like I said, I am going to continue doing path work and decoration, but I promise you I will do the rest of it off camera. And you know, when next you see me, it will be because I'm working on an otter habitat. You know, the next episode after this one will be an otter habitat. It won't be a continuation of the path decorations, I promise. Although I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was probably kind of boring in pieces, but I actually enjoyed this. It's, you know, it's not all, this game is not all about animals. Sometimes it's about plants, sometimes it's about people and facilities and stuff like that, and that's what we did here. So yeah, you know, let me know what you think. If you liked the video, by all means hit that like button. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. I'm closing in on 200 subscribers, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm you know, if you want to subscribe, believe me, I will not turn you away. I would appreciate every subscriber. And even if you don't, though, thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for giving me your attention. I appreciate every one of you, and I appreciate every single second that you spend watching my videos. I'm still amazed sometimes that people are actually enjoying what I'm doing here, because I'm just having a ball playing the games, you know? Of course, I felt the same way about being a chef, and I know that sounds weird, but I was amazed that people actually paid me to cook when I loved cooking so much. So, while you're out and around, folks, please be safe. And you know, take care of one another. Be kind. You've heard me say it dozens of times now. Kindness is everything. Kindness is the world. Be nice. Be kind. Treat everybody the same way you want to be treated yourself. Give people smiles. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter what's going on. Give people a smile. Smiles are wonderful. Kindness is everything. A small act of kindness can change the world for the better. And believe me, I know this from personal experience. I truly do. I truly do. I have had my life saved by people who didn't have to be nice to me and yet were. They did one small thing for me, one small act of kindness, and it made my life immeasurably better. I know what I'm talking about, kids. With all that said, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to keep decorating the paths. You guys have a good day, have a good evening, have a good morning whenever you watch this video. Bye-bye.